You know, one of our coworkers now used to work at the station in Roanoke where this shooting has impacted the team there, WDBJ, and knew the two journalists who died yesterday and also worked with a man who killed them. And so Laurel Reynolds, who is a tech ops assistant here in the CNN family, is joining us now. I am so sorry for what you're experiencing since you knew these two folks as colleagues, former colleagues of yours.
Yeah.
You worked there about 2 years ago.
Yes.
And what was it like? Well, let's start with them. What were they like?
Okay.
Allison and Adam.
When Allison was there, she was an intern, and she was one of the most polished interns you can ever have. She was like a superstar, and she was bubbly. You can tell her personality shine through her work.
You could really identify that she was gonna do something.
Yeah, so you can see that she had a bright career ahead of her. And Adam, he had that kind of personality you want to work with. He's such a goofball, and you just can't not love him. And, you know, he's the type of person, he doesn't meet a stranger. You will be best friends with him after like 10 minutes with him.
And so he made people comfortable, I'm sure, when he was interviewing them as well.
Yeah, he was like the cheerleader of the station.
I wanted to talk about them first. Now let's talk about the shooter. And you also worked with him. What were you doing there on the weekends? And he was on the weekends too.
Yes. I work behind the cameras.
Okay.
And sometimes I would have to direct them to, hey, you're in this spot. And from the outside looking in, he's perceived as a nice person,
okay,
but that facade after a while dropped. And you can see that he wasn't receptive to criticism. And he had a lot of tiffs with coworkers. There was one time where I was giving him feedback, and he kind of blew it back at me, and he pulled me aside, and he's like, you know, we have to stick together. We, as in Black people.
So there was allegations from him about racial discrimination in the workplace, and kind of hinted on perhaps homophobia. But as a person working at that station, did you experience any of this kind of thing in that workplace? I mean, was it something in his head, or did that exist?
See, that's the weird part, because I never experienced that. And I love my coworkers, and they're great people, dearest friends in my heart. I can never see Allison making remarks or Adam. It's unfathomable.
Right, and he, in his in his Twitter account, I guess he alleged that about Allison and said, and they still hired her or something like this. What was it like to work with him on a daily basis in terms of his effect on the atmosphere in the newsroom? Could you see it?
Yes. A lot of people didn't like to work with him, and so he rubbed people the wrong way. And he perceived that, I'm guessing, as a racial thing when it was a professional thing. He just wasn't that polished as a coworker. And
a lot of times when you're coming up in this business, you do have to get constructive criticism to get better. And that's a normal part of the process. How did you think that he perceived it?
He never got better, and so he just ignored every criticism that we gave or any type of feedback. And the station's really good to improve and enhance their talent. It's just, this person just failed.
Okay, so what about the day that he was fired? So whatever led up to his dismissal, when it happened, what do you remember seeing and what people around the building experienced?
I came into that building an hour after he was dismissed, after the police escorted him, and it was like everyone was such a panic, and everyone was just felt the vibe was extremely
So
low.
were they nervous for themselves, their
yeah,
safety?
There was a police officer there. I remember the photogs were very angry because of the incident where he went up to his face and...
So we're talking about the last incident between himself and apparently Adam,
yes,
who was killed yesterday. And the photographers told you what?
Well, they said that he went into his face and started like yelling at him and saying, and that's when Vester made the claim that Adam made racial remarks.
So he made it while Adam was taping. Do you know why was Adam taping Vester's removal from the station?
You know, I don't know. I think it's kind of like the news that you want to record, anything
Yeah.
that's traumatic.
Why
that's
were
happening.
police called in to remove him?
Well, he's like, I won't leave. You better call police.
And so they did.
Yeah.
What about the sales department, this kind of thing? What was going on in the building? Did other people fear for their lives? Did they tell you?
Luckily, yes. They were scared. Luckily, the sales department is closed off, so that they need access to get into it. And what I recall is they went into another area to protect themselves.
And
Because he went on a tournament. He, like, in the newsroom, kind of wiped clean of his desk, threw it on the ground, stormed, and was not having any kind of civil dismissal.
okay. So what other incidents of anger management problems did you see from him? Anything else you can recall?
I mean, they're just small little things. And, working in news, sometimes tensions flare up.
Oh, sure.
So we never kind of think much of it. This was just the boiling point of it. And it's scary to think that from this instance and after 2 years, he just been brewing this type of anger and resentment towards these two individuals. And really, I don't even think Allison was a part of it. So it's
not logical.
unnerving. It's hard to comprehend.
Yeah. Any final thoughts about, what you would like to remember about Allison and Adam?
Allison, positive person, and I'm going to keep that and just love. Adam, he's the same type, like great sense of humor, and he's the type of person, I was thinking about this last night, when we go out to eat, he would get like a hamburger, and he wanted nothing on it. So he wanted just like bun, burger, bun, and
he was quirky that way, huh?
yeah,
A
he
quirky
had
fun.
that. And he loved his Captain Wafer crackers.
You really had time with them.
Yeah,
These
I
are
did.
folks
We
that
hung
you
out
know.
outside of work.
Yeah. I am so
And that's the
sorry.
environment we had. So it's weird to see someone not experience that and say that they didn't have that type of
The same.
experience at DBJ.
I'm so sorry for your experience, and I noticed that you're speaking of them in the present tense, which is common, and my heart goes out to you and everybody who knew these two and their families. Thank you, Laurel. Appreciate it.